It says it goes against Google's community standards. I can't do it.
Live on the phone is Pumaira here. Trying to figure out what's going on. You should be able to do it with Google. And then you log in with YouTube.
Continue with YouTube. Continue. Yes. Continue. And then it just takes me back to continue with YouTube. Continue with YouTube. Yes. Yes. Continue. And it takes me back. Yeah,
I don't know.
Continue with your show. If I get it, I get it.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
It's always something, man.
Hello. How's it going?
Hey, I think I've got it figured out. I think my mic's going to work the way I want it to now.
Yeah? It doesn't sound like it's auto-adjusting.
No, what it was, so last week you told me about the setting in here.
Yeah.
But even though I have it unselected, the program is still telling my mic. And so I actually have to put a automatic gain adjustment lock on it. So it'll lock it wherever I want, which is, I don't know, stupid to me, but
yeah,
I don't want to get too worked up this early in the show. So,
Darth Bernie says you're coming in hot.
Always.
Let's see. Hello from Gallup, New Mexico. How's it going?
Damn, New Mexico. It's like noon there, isn't it?
I don't know.
Probably not. I think they're only I think they might be 2 hours behind us, depending on where he lives.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Oh, man. He finished all the Die Hard movies. Nice.
Yeah.
It was funny. Literally, I left this room after our show last Friday and walked into our bedroom, which is just down the hall. And you know how like TVs now come with like their own channels.
Yeah.
So like Samsung has the Samsung channels, like the Bob Ross station that plays Bob Ross 24/7, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Because he's from the city that me and Darth Bernie are from. That's where he did the show. He's not from there originally. I'm 10 times louder.
I don't know.
We'll try that one. I don't know.
It sounds fine to me.
Maybe he just has me focus mode or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that still good?
Yeah, it's fine for me.
No, Bernie. He's the audiophile. He'll critique us to death if we let him. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so I walked out of here. I went in the bedroom, and literally on the one channel we always keep it on, it's like a movie channel, and they play a lot of older movies.
Yeah.
Die Hard's on, but it's like halfway through it, and so I was like, well, I'm going to watch the second half, but then I went back and rewatched it again. So
nice. Yeah, I mean, I've seen Die Hard a million times, but we actually just finished watching it today because I wanted to watch it fresh. So me and Pumaira, who isn't with us, it bugs me. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so we watched it. We actually just finished Carry On too. That just went off as I was logging onto the podcast. So.
Nice. I mean, I do that a lot of times because I'm like, if I watch it, I mean, I know Die Hard like front to back, but if I watch like Carry On Saturday or Sunday, I should take notes, and I'm too lazy to. So, I mean, by the time we get to the show, I've forgotten most of the shit I want to bitch about.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm not as hard on movies as I should be.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm more of a, did it entertain me? Yeah, sure. But there's certain things that rub me the wrong way that I want to, get in and get nitty gritty about. But I'm not like that anymore. so I don't know if I've told this story before, but I was talking with my buddy Brian, who was like, "Hey, have you seen the new Star Wars movie?" And I'm just like, I saw red, and I went off, and then next thing I know, I see him just like wide-eyed, and I
Scared
looked
of
down at my
you?
watch, and it like 20 minutes, no joke, had gone by, and it was just like, he's just like, yeah, well, I liked it, and I'm like, ooh, sorry.
Yeah, well, we're not friends anymore. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. So it was it was weird, but I feel so bad. See, you're on our
Myra,
Facebook.
she's watching but not participating.
All right. Gerald of Ronan Entertainment, North Carolina.
Hey, so am I. Charlotte. Well, north of Charlotte a little bit.
Nice. Good evening. Good evening. And so I forget what I was going to say. Welcome to another episode of Geek-men and the Masters of the Thunder Nerds. Yeah. I've been completely derailed because Humaira hasn't been able to get logged in, who's in the chat, and she's trying to, but I'm telling you, it's something. You should be able to do it. I don't know. But I digress. It's ADHD theater, and this is pretty much a normal, everyday occurrence in this hood, so to speak.
I mean, we've pretty much just went completely sideways before we even introduced the show.
Right. So. I forgot that I hadn't introduced the show because I was answered my watch live, and I was just like, oh, oops. So that's what this show's about. We are going to be talking about a couple movies tonight, Carry On and Die Hard. Now, the idea of the show is, if you haven't watched previously, and if you haven't watched previously, shame on you. Just kidding. I won't hold it against you. But normally we assign 2 movies to watch, and we watch them and then come back the following week and talk about them or bitch about them or what have you. Critique them, so to speak. So yeah.
Sometimes we just rant and don't really say much of anything. Just we're pissed off because we had to watch a piece of shit movie. So
okay, so have I seen any other movies that I've finished? Okay, so this week we watched I watched with my Thunder Kittens the How to Train Your Dragon series, which I find really entertaining.
Oh yeah, there's so many of those movies, like from either that. I think they're not Pixar, are they? They're the other DreamWorks or whatever. I think there's so many like movies from both of those studios that are geared towards kids that are really, really good. Like I had never seen it, and then my stepson loved it. So this was probably like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He's 18 and, I'm in my late 30s and we sit down and watch them all for my first time.
Yeah. I know I had watched the first one, How to Train Your Dragon. But I kept trying to get my kids because they were stuck in Frozen. And I was like,
geez.
Hey, let's watch this other movie. And I tried to get them to watch, and boom, they both were deserted in opposite corners and just not even like excited about the movie. And I'm like, but there's dragons. Like, come on, everything's cool about dragons.
I will tell you an animated movie where I laughed my ass off as an adult. I think I was at Darth Burney's house, and we were watching. I think it was his house, and he can correct me if it wasn't his house, but it was somewhere. They just wanted to watch a movie, and so somebody's like, "Oh, well, this new movie came out. Let's watch it. It's Ron's Gone Wrong." And it's about kids who get these robots for like birthday presents, and the main kid is too poor and he can't get his own robot and all this. Well, he ends up with this robot that's like a psychopath. And I'm telling you, I laughed my ass off. Like, they wove in so much adult humor, like, into that children's movie, and not stuff that's like dirty or suggestive or anything. But I mean, at this one point, these bullies are trying to beat the kid up, and the robot just schools them for this kid. And I literally was like belly laughing the whole movie, enough to where when I came home, like, I told my wife and my adult stepchildren that, hey, we're all going to sit down and watch this movie. And it's a children's movie, and you're going to laugh your ass off. And they all did. Like, it is so good. If you've got kids and sometimes you're just over the crap that they're watching, watch Ron. Ron's Gone Wrong.
Gone Wrong.
You'll laugh your ass off. It's so good.
I'm going to make a note of that because that sounds funny.
Or we can just watch it for the show.
Yeah, we could.
I don't know if I'm not sure what studio did it. Let's see. I don't know if it's on Disney. I don't think it was Pixar.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of it, so I'd be surprised if it's on Disney.
Where the hell is the? It says it's on Disney Plus.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So it must be a Pixar movie.
Interesting.
It is so. Yeah, I can't even tell you how much fun I had watching this movie. I mean, and there's a lot of them that I have. I mean, hell, like, is it the movie just called Sing?
Yeah.
Where the guy plays music and everything. Like, you can get,
it's like a musical thing.
You can get inebriated and watch that and have an out of body experience. like these movies serve multiple purposes here. Like, not just to entertain children, but yeah,
I know.
I
loved Sing and Zootopia. Those were fun. But yeah, so it was my mistake. They were hardcore into Frozen, and so I didn't get them to snap away and focus in on How to Train Your Dragon, but they did now. They said they loved it. They said they loved it. I don't know if they meant it, but we watched 2 and 3, and I have no idea if we're gonna sit down and watch all of, because there's so many like side stories that fill in the different gaps. So I don't know.
Well, here's another question for you. I think it's this one. Have you guys ever watched the one? It's a fantasy one, Onward. Yeah, that one's pretty good too. I mean, especially if you're into like kind of D&D type stuff. Right. Like, that's another kids movie that's really good because you get the fantasy aspect to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't resonate with me as much as it did, but my kids really seemed to love it. Which helped bring me around to it, because I mean, I watched it, I liked it, and I was just like, okay, I wasn't really sure, why it was getting so much hype, but I mean, they had McDonald's toys, and I'm like, huh, weird. They're doing Onward McDonald's toys. It just seemed weird to me.
Yeah, it wasn't one of their like top build,
right?
But I mean, for the most part, like, as I watched it, I was very like just surprised, like the way they took it with like it's not Disney's typical style of like leaning into some of the more classical fantasy like you get from fantasy writing, Dungeons and Dragons, that stuff. So I thought it was good when I watched it. I mean, it didn't change my life or anything, but
right. Apparently my kids have watched it several times there.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe that's why I haven't seen it as much, because they don't bring it up as often.
At least we have Pam to make sure those kids watch what they should be watching.
I watched it with them here first, but I don't know. She indulges them as they want to watch this movie over and over and over again, because she's just as guilty of it as anyone else. Like, she's one of those rewatchers. So she rewatches things that she loves, and it's like a comfort thing, I guess, for her.
Oh, I'm a rewatcher. I mean,
it's like, for me, it's like there's too many movies. Like I save it. It's like, okay, this is a really good movie that I need to watch eventually someday. But there's other things I need to watch. So it's like,
well,
I try to just keep my head down and plow forward.
You got kind of in the game late too. You were too busy watching Buttercream Gang.
No, I wasn't. No Buttercream Gang for me.
Oh, damn. I can't wait till we watch Buttercream Gang. It's going to be so good.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm hoping they eventually put Dream Team on one of the streaming services where we all have access to it, because that is an amazing movie that no one even remembers it, and it's one of Michael Keaton's best movies, and it kills me that we haven't been able to find it anywhere yet. I'm about ready to buy everybody a copy and just send everybody physical copies so we can review this damn movie.
Oh, that's hilarious. I don't know. One of these days we'll probably manage to watch it somewhere. But all right, so I don't know. Let's keep the show moving. Have you watched anything new recently?
So let's see here. I feel like there's a couple things. So there was an announcement this week. So last week I was talking. I like your comment, Darth Bernie. Put where'd you go to take that piss, Moscow? That's like one of my favorite quotes from that movie. So I was talking about that Rogue Heroes show. I think it was from like 2022. It was about the formation of the British Special Air Service.
Yeah.
Literally just announced this week that a new season comes out in January.
Ooh.
I was like, oh, I hope there's a season 2. Well, boom. Like this week they announced that that come out. I did start a documentary that's just come out on Netflix. It's called maybe Southern Tupelo or Tupelo something. And you got to watch the preview for it, because I don't know if you can make something up that is as stupid as this preview that's actually a true story. It literally follows this guy who is an Elvis impersonator. His brother's an Elvis impersonator. But it's tied to when the ricin was sent to all the senators and to the president when Barack Obama was president. Like, these guys were involved in it. And it's a 3-episode documentary. I've watched the first episode, and it's insanity. Like, people just go check out the trailer. It'll be in the new stuff on Netflix. It has the word Tupelo in it. I think it's called Southern Tupelo or something. And literally just watch the trailer. If you don't watch the entire show, who cares? Just watch the trailer and see how messed up it is. It's a good one. But I started that, and then I think we've just been making our way through still the Paramount Plus stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty much been we ended up getting 2 more episodes of Tulsa King in, so I shouldn't have but maybe like 3 more to go, but yeah, I don't yeah, so that should put us 6, 7, and 8, I think, is what we have left to watch. But other than that, I don't think I've really dove into anything new. Yeah, I think that's probably it. We just keep watching like the seasons as the episodes been coming out.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, a lot of times when you're in the season, it's you just keep plowing through. I know I started watching Pumira and I started watching From the second season of From, which we love that show.
I need to check it out because I've never watched any of it.
Yeah. So we watched the first few episodes of the second season, and it was very hard to tear ourselves away to watch these movies because it was like, but we want to watch more from.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I've definitely ran into that before.
Yeah, and I mean, started watching. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. Arcane. Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah, you did mention that.
Okay.
I started the first episode, but for some reason I didn't stick with it. It's been so long ago, I don't even remember what even the first episode was about. So
right. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those shows, like, it's good, but for me, I find it a little annoying. Like, it builds up and feels like it's getting good. It's like, okay, this is good. Let's see where it goes next, and then boom, time jump.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
like, wait, what? Now you have to get reacquainted with all the characters and sort of make leaps and bounds as to how they ended up here instead of back here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's the one thing I find a little bit frustrating. It would be nice to have, but I mean, I guess they're trying to drive the story forward, but at that point, it's like just.
Well, it's probably one of those examples where the people who wrote the story, they're so familiar with the story, it makes sense to them.
Yeah.
And they didn't put themselves in the shoes of the reader. Like, if I didn't know anything that was going to come up, would this be enjoyable, like, to try to watch and figure out?
Yeah.
So they might have been a little too aggressive with how they chose to, like, time leap and stuff like that. There's some movies out there where that shit happens and it's almost painful as a viewer, where other properties do it in a much much smarter way to make it to where you understand the time jumps better.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's a little baffling. I mean, and this is what makes me nervous about the season 2 of Andor. Apparently, they're airing it, but each episode is it like a year in their life, and then it jumps 3 years to tell the next glimpse of their life. And they do that across 8 or 12 episodes or something. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, if it's that exciting, stay in the moment or just don't tell that story. Like, if it's going to be boring, why?
Yeah.
I mean, Andor was like that way for the first, the whole 8 episodes, because I didn't like it. I personally, as a Star Wars fan, did not like it. I liked the idea of characters, but it took like 5 episodes before I was like, okay, I'm excited to watch the next episode. And then you had to wait a week. And it was like, I waited a week for that. And it was just so anticlimactic. It was kind of like frustrating.
No, I mean,
so I'm sure that's
Star Wars nowadays too. Doesn't matter which show you're watching.
And I'm sure, like, I see the viewers ticking down as I say that. So who knows?
They're just like, nope, we're out of here.
Yeah. He clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. No, I do, because I've been a Star Wars fan since I was born. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I think I'll probably check out. There's a new show on Netflix, because I've always been. You guys have heard me talk about it before. British TV is like one of my favorite things on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And so a new show came out on Netflix. It's really highly rated. It's like a spy thriller, Black Doves. It's got Keira Knightley in it. And then Ben Whishaw, who he plays Q in the Daniel Craig James Bond movies.
Okay.
Like real nerdy ass young Q.
Yeah.
But in this movie, in this show, he's an assassin that like helps protect her kids and family. So it's totally like a complete departure from what I've seen him as before. So, but it's gotten like great reviews. So I think I'm going to check that out this week and just here and there in my free time, watch a few episodes of that and see if it's what they've hyped it up to be.
We have a comment that says Interior Chinatown, The Warrior on Netflix. Yes. The Warrior, I've seen all the seasons. It is very good. I've been rallying to get another season on socials. So hopefully it will. I know it won't, but still, it's a decent show. Like I think it deserves another season. But and I haven't seen the Interior Chinatown that he's talking about. But not yet anyway. I'm sure I'll see it eventually. But so yeah, From and Arcane, and that's about it. And again, if you ever are curious as to what I'm watching, go check out my Instagram. I post there in my stories on the regular, like, here's what I'm watching. If that kind of thing entertains you, or if you want to talk about a show, that's where you'll find. That's where you'll find it. If you like kung fu shows. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So which one of these movies you want to start with? Do you want to start with Die Hard because we know it and then enter Carry On, or do you want to
yeah, let's talk about Die Hard first and the Die Hard extended universe, and then we'll hit on, I think there's some good comparisons between not really the first Die Hard, probably more the second Die Hard. I know we didn't watch it.
Yeah.
The overachievers would have watched all the Die Hards this week. But since I've seen them all a trillion times, I just decided I would watch the first one and talk about the second and the third, and the fourth and the fifth. Like, so, I think there's some comparisons, especially with the second Die Hard, where this movie did certain things different, and I think it actually probably benefited Carry On some. But yeah, let's hit Die Hard first, and then jump into Carry On.
So, if you're not familiar with Die Hard, you really shouldn't even be watching this. You should just go watch Die Hard. But we'll humor you and talk about it. So it takes place, John McClane, he's there to visit his kids and his wife, who's estranged, and who's now going by Holly Gennaro.
Well, and they're not technically estranged.
Well, they're not. They're married, but they're separated.
So he's a New York detective, has a backlog of cases, says he's going to transfer to LA, and she's out working for a Japanese company, which Japanese companies preferred that women use their maiden names, because they felt as soon as you told a potential client someone was married and, you know, had their married name, then they were less interesting. So that was a big push by a lot of the Japanese companies back during that time period. Because, I mean, you got to think Japanese business was just breaking into a lot of the mainstream, you know, businesses in the United States, because this was right when they started to buy us. Instead of, you know, beat us in a war, they just bought us through commercialism. So, but yeah, he's coming out to LA to see his wife and his kids. She's at a Christmas party at the Nakatomi Plaza, which is the big ass building that they're in. Which I did learn an interesting fact about the building, which I'll share in a little while. And as he gets there, it's overtaken by a group of terrorists that have some plot that something they're going to do in this building. So,
yeah. And one of my favorite characters is just totally blanked on his name.
Hans Gruber.
No, the taxi,
Orgam? Yeah.
Argyle.
Orgam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's so hilarious. He's just like, yeah.
Yeah, he has a very colorful limo driver that picks him up at the airport and then takes him, who ends up, he tells him to wait for him. And then when the terrorists get there, literally he gets trapped in the parking garage.
Right.
In the limo. He's partying in the limo.
Right.
But he's trapped in the parking garage, doesn't even know it at that point. But
yeah, he doesn't know it at that point. He's just hanging out. He's like, oh, huh. He hears John McClane on the CB when he starts talking on the CB. He's just like, oh, wait, what? Lady starts wondering, oh, that's weird. All the exits are blocked.
I always kind of equate this movie to like a level by level, like a video game where you have to clear a building by levels. Because I mean, really, it's almost linear how John McClane like has to go through this building and he's hiding from these terrorists. So they basically capture everyone but him.
Mm-hmm.
And you find out that John McClane is the biggest pain in the ass cop ever.
Yeah.
I always said I thought Bruce Willis, like in his younger years, if they had done a Deadpool back then, he like as smart ass as he was, and I think he would made a really good Deadpool. I would actually prefer a little bit more serious undertaking of Deadpool than what Ryan Reynolds gives us, even though it's funny as hell.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to picture anyone but Ryan.
He's good at it, but I think you could. I think just the style you could change it a little bit, and it would be even better. But I could argue that point for hours on end. So, but
debatable.
No, it's like basically. I mean, he's a one-man army trying to figure out this plot and then save all these people that are trapped at this Christmas party. And I mean, he has nothing. He doesn't even have shoes on.
Yep.
When
Fist with your toes.
Yeah. So he had taken off his shoes the guy said it made him feel better after basically flying on a plane, like jet lag and stuff. So these guys break in, he's in a tank top and a pair of pants and no shoes, and that's it. And yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen Die Hard, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the entire movie. Just go freaking watch it.
Seriously.
Like, it is probably one of the most recommendable action movies that I've ever seen.
Yeah, fair enough. I would not argue with that.
I was trying to sit down and think, like, are there other action movies that I would probably list as when I watch that are as enjoyable as this? And this is, to me, in my opinion, and I grew up, I was pretty young when this came out. Like, we watched it all through the 90s a lot. I mean, to me, this is probably one of the best action movies that you can find. Because a lot of them were pretty thin on plot and some of that stuff. If you ask me, one of the things that makes this movie really good is the comedy cuts through a lot of the seriousness.
Why didn't you watch it? Good grief. You're supposed to watch that.
True, Pam. You let me down. So I think one of the things is this does a great job of balancing comedy with the action and the drama parts of it.
Yeah.
Where, like, if I want to go and watch a very heavy action movie that I think's just a great action movie, I will go watch Rambo First Blood. Well, just First Blood, because it wasn't really named Rambo First Blood. The very first one.
Yeah.
That is a very heavy themed action movie.
I would just say literally any war movie.
Yeah. I mean, there's some war movies out there, though, that are just turd bags that I wouldn't show anybody. But I mean, that movie with the themes of him coming back from Vietnam and just getting shit on at home, like it just, and then PTSD kicks in and these cops are being pricks to him. Like there's no levity in that movie where,
not a single bit.
Yeah, I think Die Hard speaks to a larger audience because it does have all that sarcastic humor in it. Like it just, Bruce Willis to me is John McClane. Like there's no other role that I can think of that he's done where I feel he is the character more.
Yeah, that's fair.
Than this movie and the 3 or 5 or 6 movies. However many there are now. 5 maybe.
I thought 5 was the last one. That's the last one I can remember seeing in theaters.
Good Day to Die Hard, I think's what that one's called.
Yeah, with his kid.
Mm-hmm. Because his daughter's in the 4th one, and then his son's in the 5th one. But I mean, if you just look at the cast this movie has, I mean, Alan Rickman.
Seriously, one of the best villains ever, and to think that it's his first role ever, it just is like a wake up call. It's like, holy crap.
And you've got the guy who played Sergeant Al Powell, Reginald Vell Johnson, so Carl Winslow to most of the people who are our age. And then some of the supporting actors, which are people that I never remember their names.
Yeah.
But they're in so much stuff. So like the Asian guy that's one of the terrorists. So he's also one of the henchmen he's the one that reaches in and gets the candy bar. When the guys are coming in. He's also one of the henchmen in Lethal Weapon.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I think he's in one of the henchmen in
he's in all kinds of stuff.
The Three Ninjas.
Yeah, I think that's what I was just thinking that he's. Let's see here. God, he was in Lethal Weapon 4, The Scorpion King. Let's go back. Lethal Weapon, Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah, he's in all kind. First Lethal Weapon. I already said that. He's in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure as Genghis Khan. Yeah, like there's just Death Warrant with Van Damme, Showdown in Little Tokyo, which was what Dolph Lundgren and I think Brandon Lee. Was that Showdown in Little Tokyo? That wasn't Brandon Lee, was it? Yeah, it was Brandon Lee. Bruce Lee's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those people that's been in a lot of different stuff. And then, so the reporter Thornburg, who's the real asshole.
Yeah.
So I know you've never seen this, and we're going to watch it one week, or I'm going to poke someone's eyes out. He's almost the exact same character in Ghostbusters. So he plays Richard Peck in Ghostbusters, and he is all up Bill Murray's ass. And then there's a scene where they've all been arrested because people are claiming that they were faking, and then something happens and they all all the Ghostbusters and this guy are in jail together. Or no, they're in jail, but then the mayor brings them all in the office. Okay. And this guy's making claims, and the mayor looks at Bill Murray and them and goes, "Is this true?" And he goes, "Yes, this is true. This man has no dick." And it is one of the funniest lines in that entire movie. But that guy plays such a good asshole in everything that I've seen him in that, like, I wouldn't be able to tell you his name's William Atherton. But I remember him being in a bunch of movies and being a total dickhead in all of them. But yeah, just like, to me, this movie, just the rewatchability factor or whatever, to me, puts it in a very high tier for me as far as a movie. Because if you can watch it as many times as we've all watched it and still enjoy it, like, I was glued to it again 1.5 times this week.
Yeah, I definitely agree with it on that. Oh man.
And then, I mean, and then as you get into the other movies, Die Hard 2, I mean, it was weaker than the first.
It was, but after rewatching it a couple times, I was like, huh, that's not as bad as I remember it.
Mm-hmm.
That actually was pretty good.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's not the first movie in any regards. The bad guy, they doing what they always do is they make, instead of having like one main bad guy, they did like a buddy bad guy thing where they split it across the two people.
Yeah.
What is he? I think he's German. The German guy that was Death in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
I think he plays like a German colonel or something. And then the guy that was from Coming to America that just passed away, he's that military guy.
Yeah.
They kind of did the thing where now it's these two groups kind of come together, and it's not as good of a story. It's all in an airport, which you'll find familiar coming up. It's on Christmas again. So they started off with this big Christmas theme in the first two movies. But it's still a good movie. Like,
yeah,
this trilogy, to me, the first three Die Hard movies is one of the best trilogies as far as I'm concerned out there. I could rewatch this shit over and over as much as I've ever watched the original Star Wars trilogy. And probably I've watched this more just because it's more adult, and the humor is my type of humor. But the third movie to me is every bit as good as the first. Like, I think they're on equal playing field.
Yeah, I'd say that I agree with that too.
And they had to drop Christmas for the third movie because how many times is this guy going to have shit happen on Christmas? Like, no. If they would have done Christmas for the third one, I would have been like, okay, like, it was okay for two movies, but now a third, like, they switch it to the middle of the summer, and it was good.
Yeah, it was barely good the second time. Like,
yeah.
Oh, good grief! No, he's like almost dead. Unfortunately,
he would solve something like Stephen Hawking just by moving his eye.
Right.
He's like, it's typing shit out. There's got to be another Gruber out there he can take on.
Yeah, a Gruber the second or third.
Yeah, I mean,
from his first wife once removed. I don't know, whatever you want to say, but yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, the third one's one of my favorite Samuel L. Jackson roles.
Yeah.
Because, like, most people be like, oh, Pulp Fiction, like Samuel L. Jackson, like, I liked Pulp Fiction, which is weird because it has Bruce Willis in it as well. I like it. It's a creative movie, but to me, it's not as epic as a lot of people make it out to be. But that movie is just Samuel L. Jackson being Samuel L. Jackson, like what we've known him to be, and like he's got a mouth on him in Die Hard with a Vengeance, but I mean, he plays a much, in my opinion, a different character than what he normally plays. He's like a pretty buttoned up, like, business owner that gets pulled into this mess just by happenstance. And then he's stuck with John McClane the entire movie and doesn't want to be with him at all for the most part.
I think my favorite, I love the first and the third one for sure, but my favorite is probably Live Free or Die Hard, because it was on Independence Day.
I can't get on that train.
And
it was a decent movie to me, but I can't get on that train.
I don't know. It had the Justin Long, who played the geek and the nerd, and they go to Kevin Smith's cave. You brought him to my bat cave, and he's just like laughing. You brought him to the command center, and Bruce Willis is just laughing at him. Like,
I mean, it did introduce us. I mean, that was like one of Timothy Oliphant's first major movie roles which I've always been a Timothy Oliphant fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, that one's a good movie. I could rewatch it some, but the first and the third to me are in my opinion, the apex of this movie series.
It's funny because I would be more willing to watch Live Free or Die Hard before any of the others.
No way.
And it's just
No
like
way.
I could easily just be, surfing through the channels and see Live Free or Die Hard and be like, all right, I'll stay on this for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it would depend on what's on at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was on and Bluey wasn't, then I'd watch it. But if Bluey's on, not a chance.
Oh, goodness. That's funny. Well, okay, so what about Carry On? What do we feel about? Okay, wait.
Yeah, we got to rate.
We got to
Die Hard real quick.
Let's rate Die Hard. What do you say?
I mean, it's hard for me to say that this isn't one of my favorite movies. I do think there's some minor flaws in it. And some of that's just me. What I hate about rating movies now that came out decades ago is because you've had more time with that movie to critique it than rating new movies. So like what part of it is, I think when you rate something, it's your rating is relative to the amount of time that you've been exposed to the property and has it held up over time. So there's movies that I would have rated when they came out as, a 4.5, but now they haven't held up over time as well. So, I might rate them lower based off something technical or so. I mean, this one for me, unless you're just brain dead, I would say as a person, you're going to enjoy this movie to some degree. Now, it's right up my alley because I'm an 80s action kid. I mean, I would probably give this movie a 4.5.
Okay.
In my book. It is one of my favorite movies to watch and tell other people to watch who have never seen it.
Right.
I mean, I would put this in the action category. It is in my probably top 5 movies.
Fair enough. So Pumira came in and said 5 stars. And I agree with her because it is a very good movie. And it's definitely the highest that I've ever rated on this show. I would say 4.5. 4.5. Like you said, because it has a ton of rewatchability, and we watch it every year.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's to me, that's one of the biggest things is somebody can be like, "Oh yeah, well that movie's only a 3.5," but they watch it all the goddamn time. Well, then why are you rewatching it if it's a 3.5?
Right.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean that's what my mom was getting at. She's just like, oh, whenever we rate things like 2, 3 out of 5 star movies, like that's not even worth watching in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, it was a decent watch, but
but we watched it because we picked it and we had to.
Right.
There's a reason why we probably have never picked it over other things before until we were just like, oh, let's watch this movie this week.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. So being forced to watch it, I thought it was great. It's a exceptional, well-crafted work of art, enriching and transformative. Definitely feel like it ticks those boxes and all that. So yeah, this is the highest movie I've ever rated.
What's another action movie that you would rate as high as this? Anything that comes to mind? I would probably have to go with Terminator 2.
I've never seen Terminator 2.
I've
seen enough clips of it to
shot
know.
to the nuts.
I've seen enough clips of it to know what's going on, but
That's a masterpiece.
And that's what everyone says. But I just haven't sat down to watch it in its entirety.
You want to see a movie take everything that's good about the first movie and improve upon it, which that's what James Cameron does.
Yeah.
In pretty much everything that he does. So hopefully when Titanic 2 comes out, we'll get to see him improve on that one. It'll probably be about the little ship that went down there with the video controller and then the Xbox controller stopped working.
Yeah, and then they imploded.
Yeah. He'll turn that into a 3-hour masterpiece.
I'm
going to hell.
I don't know. So let's move on to the Carry On. What did you think of it?
So just kind of a short overview. Taron Egerton, he works for TSA, which would be the worst job on the effing planet, in my opinion. Everyone hates you.
Yeah, hands down.
Working in TSA. So he's just kind of he's been really not motivated to move up or do more. He got rejected from the police academy when he tried to apply there. He wants to be a cop, but he just finds out that he's going to be a dad. I don't know if she was his wife or it's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
She works for one of the airlines at the airport. And on this day, he decides he wants to prove to his boss that he can do more. And so they put him on the scanning machine for the TSA. And that's when weird shit starts to happen.
Yeah.
First, there's a earpiece in the bowl, and he tries to give it to this lady. And she's like, "Oh, that's not mine." Well, then as he's going to put it away in the lost and found, he gets a text message that tells him to put it in his ear. And you basically start to see how well laid out this plan is, and that these guys who are trying to get this package through TSA onto a specific plane, how well they've done their homework and can react in real time to changes, because he wasn't supposed to be on that machine. Someone else was.
Right.
And so basically the plot of the movie is they've got to figure out how to get this piece of luggage as a carry-on through TSA into the plane, because they're trying to basically kill somebody that's on the plane for a specific purpose. Overall thoughts on the movie. So like I said before, this was very similar to Die Hard 2, not like necessarily the plot and everything, but it's a Christmas movie. It's in an airport. Basically,
that's what similarity is Die right there.
Yeah, well, there were some things that kind of tripped, to me, oh, they did that different.
Okay.
Then it would have been handled in Die Hard 2. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that they didn't just try to carbon copy the style of another movie and force their story into a box.
Yeah.
Take Die Hard 2 story out and then slap in this Carry On one, and it's just the same damn movie for the most part.
Yeah.
But for a Netflix movie, I thought it was a good watch. There was some things that bothered me. I do not like Theo Rossi as an actor. He's the one that was in the van with the weird mustache that's working with Jason Bateman. I do not like him as an actor. I hated him on Sons of Anarchy. I couldn't stand him in The Penguin recently. I just don't like him as an actor. I'm sure the guy's a nice guy, all that. He's more talented than I am, but there's something about the way he acts I don't like. Now, on the flip side of that, I've always been a huge Jason Bateman fan. And, you've never seen a masterpiece until you've seen Teen Wolf 2. Not 2, the number, but TOO, the second Teen Wolf movie, because he took over Teen Wolf from Michael J. Fox
Wait,
for that movie. You didn't know that?
I did not know this.
Have you seen the first Teen Wolf?
I've seen the first Teen Wolf, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a second Teen Wolf, and I believe it's Michael J. Fox's cousin goes to college with Chubbs, the big dude. And he becomes a werewolf while he's at college, and he's with Chubbs. It is nowhere near the quality that Teen Wolf is. I mean, I am a huge fan of Michael J. Fox, and Teen Wolf is one of those movies I watched a shit ton when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, it's goofy as hell.
Yeah.
But Jason Bateman plays the Teen Wolf in that movie. Scotty's cousin. It's great. It's great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where you just got to watch it once. Like, don't ever watch it again. But it's good.
What do you mean? Okay, first of all, I don't understand what you're saying in this comment. Next time Jack will make it on the door?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I don't know what that is. What you're meaning there. But I've seen both. How have I not seen it?
You're playing Star Wars or something.
First one, and probably. Oh, okay. That was back when we were talking about Titanic too.
Okay.
Yeah, Titanic too. Okay. But yes, this I have not seen it. I have been busy watching other movies, probably. Either that or you watch all the garbage things on weekend reruns or whatever.
I just remember Teen Wolf and Teen Wolf 2 being next to each other in my video store when I was a kid. And for the longest time when I was young, I thought Michael J. Fox and Jason Bateman were the same person.
Really?
Like, you know how when you're a kid, you get like people who have similar characteristics?
Yeah.
You think they're the same person? I literally thought they were the same person.
Huh.
But
yeah, I wouldn't have put that together because I obviously haven't even seen the poster for Teen Wolf 2.
TOO, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's a Teen Wolf 2 as well. He's Teen Wolf as well.
Yeah.
That shows you how clever people are.
Yeah.
But
I knew there was a second one, but I didn't know it was Jason
in this movie, Jason Bateman, like, he plays like a creepy dude. Like, I mean, he's pretty cold, calm, like he's a sociopath. Like, I felt he did a good job of kind of being that creepy, just stone cold sociopath. Like,
yeah.
It's a departure. He normally plays like the nerdy, logical dude. And this is the other side of that, the evil connotation of it. So there was some stuff that was derivative. Taron Egerton's acting in some of the scenes, like when he was running and stuff, I felt like he overdid it a little bit with the arm motions and stuff.
I thought it was very reminiscent of Tom Cruise. It felt like he was trying to run like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, like the Mission Impossible stuff.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, you're trying a little too hard.
It was that. Those was weird. And then when they were showing the body cam of the dude in the people's houses, it kept having these little digital glitches in it that don't look anything like the imperfections in like an actual body cam. So I was like nitpicking that, but I mean, at the end of it, I mean, 2-hour movie, I was entertained by it. Like, I wanted to see how it ended.
Yeah, I agree.
It didn't blow my socks off or anything.
But yeah, for a Netflix movie, it was actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, I've seen stuff that people thought was good on Netflix, and I felt like this was way better. or better, not way better, but
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
else like that? I'm trying to think what else that would. Maybe Red Notice.
yeah. See, like Red Notice, like people were like, "Oh, it's got The Rock and all these people in it," and I'm just like, when I
Ryan
watched it, I was
Reynolds.
like, it was just kind of dead.
Yeah.
Like
I
it was
remember
so
thinking
so.
it was a decent movie. I
Yeah, it's
enjoyed
just
it,
it
but
was so so to me.
yeah.
Like I feel like and maybe it's the recency effect, but I feel like I enjoyed this more.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Final verdict. What are you rating it?
I mean, this one would probably be just fall right in the middle of 3 for me. I would never watch it again. I would tell somebody, hey, if you're bored and you just have nothing else to watch, it's worth a 2-hour sit through, but I could give you 1,000 other movies to watch in your life that you're going to enjoy more. More than 1,000.
Yeah. All right. So Eric Bertram says a 5 for me.
This dude.
Loved it.
So I don't know why he has 2 names now, because he was Darth Burney. Now he's Eric Bertram. Some bitch is trying to throw things off here for the crowd. So I just want everybody to know that Eric Bertram and Darth Burney are the same person. So
he's trying to bump up for viewership.
Yeah, well, he's trying to pull something cute here. So, Eric Bertram came out of nowhere and rated it a 5. I know. I've watched movies with this dude. He's being a smart ass. It's no Speed 2. Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh,
Cruise Control
on my tablet.
On your kid's tablet. Wow, why don't you let your kid have the tablet?
4.5 for Pumira, and I will agree and say I would say it was a 4.5. I enjoyed it a lot. It wasn't Die Hard, which is now going to be the pinnacle. But
I mean, looking at it, I would say I'll go 3.5. I'd probably feel like I would land at a 3.5 more. Certain parts of it, whatever. But I ain't giving it no more than that. There's a trillion things out there I would point someone to watch.
Okay, so no, she said 5 for. She said 5 for Die Hard, 4.5 for this. So yeah, and I said 4.5 for Die Hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this would probably be a 4 for me. I'm losing track of my ratings here. What we're doing. But anyway, so yeah, I would say it was a 4. I enjoyed it. I mean, I would probably watch it again. And I don't know. This is probably I feel shameful to say this, but I would probably watch. There was another Christmas movie, but it had. Oh shoot! It had. It had Viking's son.
Oh, I can't think of his name right. Yeah, he was in my wrestling show that I watched all the time.
Yeah, Heels. He was in Heels too. There was a movie with him on it, and it was like supposed to be like this weird rom-com type movie, but it was like a Christmas movie, and like they had to drop this package on this island who I don't know doesn't ever get anything ever. So I don't know. I thought that was a cute movie. So it's not anything like that. So I would say this.
Alexander Ludwig's his name.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to say Alexander Skarsgård, but I'm like, no, that's not it.
He's not a Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Speaking of Skarsgård, man, Loki was insane. I love that show. This is Vikings talk. But anyway, all right, so let's pick our movies for next week. I'll stop sharing. What do you want?
Didn't we have, you have like a list of some that had been thrown out there?
Yeah, so
I would have liked, if I had thought of it before, to follow up Die Hard with Raid Redemption, which is actually I'm trying to remember what country it is from. But it's a movie that's somewhat similar to Die Hard from a Asian perspective. But I don't see it on any of the streaming services, but it's pretty good. So I guess we won't be watching that one.
So we have Santa Claus on Tubi. And do we want to watch the Santa Claus with Santa Claus with the Tim Allen one? Or do you want to watch the Kurt Russell one?
I mean, I've seen the original Tim Allen one a good amount of times. I've never seen the Kurt Russell one. And I mean, you know how big of a Kurt Russell fan I am. So,
yeah.
Because we had talked about maybe doing those the week of Christmas, Santa Claus the movie and that one. I mean, are you wanting to do one of those this coming week?
Wait, so do we?
Because we have a show that's right after Christmas. It's on like the 27th.
Oh, okay.
And we had talked about doing Santa movies that week. So like next week when we pick movies, those would be the ones we would pick.
Okay.
And so we would have to come up with something for this week leading up to, which not a Christmas movie, and I got to see if we can get it, but it's related to a Christmas movie. Let me see if it's on here. Damn it, it's not on Tubi. I'd have to look and see if it's somewhere else. But you had said you'd seen Gremlins, but not Gremlins the New Batch.
Yeah,
and
no,
so
I haven't.
I was thinking, even though it's not a Christmas movie, it's related to a Christmas movie. If we could find Gremlins 2, that would be a great one to watch. Because that actually has my favorite Gremlin in it of all of them. Let me see. Let me see if it's on somewhere.
Yeah, I was looking. I didn't see it because I actually wanted to watch that as well.
It's so good. I mean, it probably wouldn't ever win any awards, but I loved this movie when I was a kid. God, where is it?
Yeah, and here's the thing. I want to see that, and I think my buddy found it as it fell off the truck. So I think I'm gonna watch that one.
It says it's on Max. We all have Max, don't we?
Says what's on Max?
Gremlins 2.
Yeah, I have Max.
I'm gonna try to sign in and see if I can pull it up, because we might be able to watch it through Max. The first one's on there because it pulled right up.
Yeah.
Because I'll probably just watch them both. Yeah. Gremlins 2, the New Batch, 1990.
All right.
I say we hit that puppy up.
How about we watch that and the original Santa Claus on Tubi, and then we'll watch
the Tim Allen one.
No, the one with John Lithgow.
Oh, Santa Claus the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I'll rock that shit.
And then we'll watch the 2 Kurt Russell ones. We'll do a back-to-back. Oh yeah. Zombie said a Merry Friggin' Christmas was funny in a dysfunctional family way. I think that's on Tubi as well.
A Merry Friggin' Christmas?
Yeah.
I don't even know that one at all.
Has Robin Williams in it. It's on Tubi.
Well, that seems interesting. Merry friggin' Christmas. Oh, I started it. I didn't want to do that. Yeah. Joel McHale, Lauren Graham, Oliver Platt. Oh, yeah. That sounds like it'd be good. That's got to be near. What year did that come out? God dang it. I started it again. Does it just show me info somewhere? Yeah, 2014. So, I mean, when did Robin Williams die? 16?
I think. I don't know.
It's got to be close to the end.
Yeah. Oh, it's the same year he passed away.
So it was shot the year before.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch the movie Toys with Robin Williams?
No.
Oh, we got to watch that at some point too.
Oh, I forgot to do my thing.
It's not rated great, but I liked it when I was a kid.
Let's see.
You forgot to do what?
Forgot to do this. Hang on. I'll do it in a second. As soon as I find it. There we go. There's our Christmas spirit.
I've got so much Christmas spirit. It ain't funny. My wife wanted to put up lights, and I said, not a snowball's chance in hell. I put a fucking light up for Christmas. We don't even decorate.
Why?
Just got to take that shit down.
Oh, so it's not worth putting up?
Why put it up in the first place?
Well.
Nope, no Santa hat. Dude, I'm Scrooge. Like, no. I mean, I love the holidays. When I was a kid, I loved decorations. I'd rather just go see other people who do cool shit rather than me get frustrated trying to put lights up on bushes and around poles and shit all for an entire Saturday.
Yeah.
I get that.
Walking, talking Stephen Hawking? What on earth? World's Greatest Dad with Robin Williams.
That name right there is legendary. That's like something I would use as like my Call of Duty name or something.
Or your one of your burner accounts.
Oh yeah.
I feel like we were just talking about Stephen Hawking.
I've given the troll life up. We did. I made a comment about Stephen Hawking earlier.
Yeah, I knew
because Eric Bertram said that Bruce Willis should make another Die Hard movie.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. That was cold. That was ice cold.
Yeah. It probably is Darth Bernie. Just walking, talking Stephen Hawking. I screenshotted the name just to save it for our wall of fame, so to speak. So my mom says, "You are Scrooge."
It's true.
But
so yeah, I think Gremlins 2, the new batch, and that Robin Williams one. I think that'd be good. And then I say we do. Or how do you want? Or do you want to do Santa Claus the movie this week? I don't give a shit when we do it. Like,
no, I want to do the. There's part 1 and 2 to the Kurt Russell ones, so I just want to do them back to back.
Okay, so we would do this week. We do Gremlins 2, and then
a Merry Friggin' Christmas.
Okay. But that lets everybody off the hook of having to watch Santa Claus the movie.
Well, yeah, but
doing a disservice to these people. Hey, if you go check it out, just go. Oh wow, just go watch Santa Claus the movie, people. It's on Tubi. It's for free. It's a good watch. John Lithgow, one of his best roles he's ever done. Dudley Moore's in it.
Yeah.
Just watch it.
I mean, I'll still be watching it regardless because it's one of Pumaira's favorite movies. So, Santa the movie.
No, I say we do Gremlins 2 and we do the Robin Williams one because you and I have both seen Santa Claus the movie a lot. So let's do one we haven't seen
I
as
haven't
much.
seen either one of those. So, all right, here's the movies locked in. Sent out the message.
And
But
you have to guess. So here's your homework for you and Zombie, if Pumaira's going to be here. You have to tell me next week which gremlin from this movie is my favorite gremlin.
Oh boy.
Like you have to pick one out and you have to tell me which one it is. I think it'll be obvious.
It's probably just going to be the most deranged one.
I think it'll be 100% obvious when you see it. There's one that may throw you a curveball that you may think as well, but I think it'll be obvious what I think is the funniest gremlin.
Are they named?
Well, he has kind of a name.
Zombie has a pretty good idea of which one it is.
Zombie, you'll have to message me like a picture of it, and I'll tell you if it is or not. But yeah, they don't really have names. Like in the first one, the leader of the gremlins is Spike. Like he has a mohawk.
Yeah.
Like they all kind of get names. I think Corey Feldman might actually name that one Spike with the mohawk. But most of them are just known by, like there's the Flasher, the one that opens up his coat, and they do have kind of a name. But this one is just amazing. This gremlin.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. All right. Well,
Stripe. Not Spike.
Yeah.
My bad, everybody. Stripe.
Oh, you're gonna send Eric on a tizzy. He's
Oh
gonna
boy.
be all fired up. How dare you? I don't think he would actually say that, but all right. So, coming up, I know we have shows that I'll show on our way out, but I did want to highlight. Where is it? I always get so turned around in these menus, especially when I see comments popping up. All right, so on Monday, we'll be back with It's Freaking Figures. Tune in for the latest and all the good things and talking toys. And of course, Derry brings up Gremlins.
Oh yeah. But we're not watching the Christmas one. We're watching the summertime one. So it's like Die Hard and Die Hard with a Vengeance. This one's just the sibling of a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's a 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon and I can't talk.
Kevin Bateman.
Bacon.
He was
I know we've
Teen
been
Wolf
talking
3.
about Bateman so often.
That was Teen Wolf 3.
Yeah.
The Threnody. Teen Wolf Threnody. That was Kevin Bateman.
All right. And so Zombie's saying, boy, howdy, do I have news too. Tune in Monday night.
Oh boy.
So yeah, there's all that goodness coming your way on Monday. And he says, with bacon and a licky face. So I think it's a licking face. But anyway, so we're going to peace out. And until next time, Thunder Nerds ho.
Ho.
Click on show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. Hey! New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun,